New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew joins me. Good evening, sir. And what is the story on these bomb threats?
Well, that's what we want to find out. We want to find out what the story is. We need to dig deep on this. If you didn't know better, you sure would think it was a concerted effort to interfere with polling on the day of the election, because we know that on election day, Republicans always do well. You'll have to overcome what was done for the Democrats by mail-in vote. But the point is, it was concerted. It seemed to be coordinated. So I have already penned a letter, which is out already, to the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. I'm on the Judiciary Committee, and I'm chair of oversight in the subcommittee. And I'm going to have hearings on this. And I'm also asking her to do a deep dive, a good investigation into it. And I believe that she will.
Okay, it's terrible that anyone would do a bomb threat at any place, any time, and on election day as well, at polling places. But having said that, is there any indication that anyone who wants to vote in New Jersey can't vote because of those bomb threats?
There are some indications around, because of the bomb threats is one thing, but in general, there have been some areas where there's been long lines and machines were down, and we've gotten these reports and people have gotten off the line and just left after waiting an hour and a half. So that's always of concern. The bomb threats, they had to close everything down while they had they had these dogs that sniff out bombs, and they had to go through that process. So certainly there were people who were there or would have been there early and were not there and or had to leave, and that's of a concern, because sometimes some people don't have the passion that others do about voting, and once they're there and have to leave, they're not coming back. So that concerns me a lot. I'm not accusing them yet. We don't know, but the Democrats do know that anything that interferes with voting on election day is to their benefit. Now, whether this was orchestrated in some way, we don't know.
A chance there it's one person, but I don't know either, rather than, a group of people. All right.
We don't know.
Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris won that state a year ago, actually, by 6.9 points. But the current race in the governor's race is pretty close, at least according to the poll. I mean, there are some polls where there's quite a large margin. Do you have any idea? Do you have any insight of what this result is going to be, or are you like me, just throw everything up against the wall and see what sticks on this one?
I think Jack's going to win. I really do. I mean, I've thought that for a long time.
And that's the Republican.
Yes, Jack Ciattarelli, the Republican. I believe he's going to win. The momentum's been in his favor. Understand, he ran 4 years ago, and when he ran 4 years ago, in the polling that was going on at that time, he was double digits back, and he ended up being within the margin of error, a few points in there. So now he's been polling literally neck and neck, a statistical tie, and some of the polls the very last ones that came out. So you'd have to think he's really got even more of a shot than he did last time. This is our time now. Early voting on the machine is always good for us, and then on election day is when we really do well.
All right, you say on the machine, I heard you a second ago, correct me if I'm wrong, something about some machines had to be shut down or some didn't work. Can you tell me the voting process in New Jersey? Because I really do find it hard to believe any of these states, not just New Jersey, but any of them haven't learned the lesson is that we've got to have pretty smooth voting and machines that work them, or, we got to do something. And, these elections happen on fixed dates. We know when they're coming.
Hey, it's one of the reasons that in elections I'm involved with, I really push early voting on the machine, not mail, but early voting on the machine a lot, because you don't know what's going to happen on election day. People can call in bomb threats, etc. Machines can break down. We had in the last election last year when I ran, one county forgot to adjust for daylight savings time on the machines, and they had to open an hour late. Again, some people are very busy and they go to work really early. None of that is acceptable. We still have issues now after spending billions of dollars across the country. Voting is still not as smooth as it should be, and we got to keep working on that, Greta.
On a national basis, I suppose that, obviously this matters a whole lot to New Jersey, but with Vice President Kamala Harris winning by 6.9 points against President Trump a year ago, that it would be hugely significant, maybe even a sort of an idea of what's going to happen in the future if by some chance this blue state picks a red governor tonight.
Oh, this is hugely significant as of this moment. To understand the fact that there is a close election in the blue state of New Jersey is extraordinary. Usually in governor's races, the Democrat wins by double digits, close to 20 points sometimes. So this is extraordinary, whatever happens. Now, I believe Jack's going to win. He's doing well. But there is some change in New Jersey. I will talk about my district. I have the largest congressional district in the state of New Jersey. It is bigger than the state of Delaware. So I have a very interesting district. And there has been a huge movement from people being registered Democrats to registered Republicans.
I looked to see what was of great interest in New Jersey, and it's probably true of every state, but I zeroed in on New Jersey in anticipation of this interview. Taxes. What's the story with your taxes? It says that, I don't know if it's the most in the state or in the union, but you have very high taxes. So I imagine that everyone who runs for office says he or she is going to lower taxes. What's going on that you have such high taxes in your state?
It has gone on for a long time. I mean, we could do so much better because the state funding formula for schools isn't good. We waste money on things like sanctuary state, subsidizing industrial wind turbines, billions of dollars there, and a host of other things that I could go into. We don't concentrate on the right things in our schools. Our schools are what cost so much. So just to give you an example, I was a state senator. I was in the legislature for 16 years. I've been a congressman for 7 years. 7 years ago, when I became a congressman, the taxes in New Jersey were about half of what they are now. Energy costs in New Jersey are unbelievably expensive, where other states are moderate or even some states are seeing some reduction. We have skyrocketed. Why? We closed 5 gas plants and 1 nuclear plant, didn't replace it with anything.
Well, just as a little trivia, a few years ago, my husband got a notice from New Jersey that he owed taxes there. And the only time he'd been in New Jersey is taking the train from Washington to New York. So I don't know what's going on with your system. But I get a $3 refund from the state of California, and I don't live there either. So I'll make the crack about them, too. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, thank you, sir.
Great to be with you, Greta. Thank you.
And how is this?